Good morning, everybody. What the heck? Seriously? There we go. Okay. Let's try that one again. Good morning, everybody. My name is Osa, and we are playing Farming Simulator 19 on Oakfield Farm Farming Agency Edition. And we are finishing up the clover cut from last episode. This is episode 100 on Thanksgiving Day of 2021. And you will notice that I have cleared out the clover that is on the outskirts of this patch of ground here. Using the truck over there and its autoloader, just so that gives us a little bit of room to maneuver around here. What else are we planning today? So as soon as we've finished all of this stuff, I need to take the Challenger up to the farm, wash it down, and get on with a little bit of, let's try and get this bale off the truck. No, we're not going to get the bale off. Okay. Now, I might do if I stop here, good, reverse a bit, and swing really wide from that point. There we go. Hopefully the JCB will also miss that bale. And we'll go back onto cruise control, and I missed a tiny patch of clover. I'm not really going to worry about that too much. So anyway, what have we got going on today? So yeah, as I was saying, we're going to clear this clover field, finish wrapping it, we'll take the bales down to the BGA, and that's the end of this clover harvest. It's late spring, so there will be another one later this year, and we may harvest our smaller fields as hay, so that we can top up our hay supplies for the sheep this year. All told, for the sheep, I think we made round about £180,000 for the wool that we sold and the male sheep that we've sold so far. There may be more, but only 12. I did notice that the value of sheep was dropping as we sold more and more of them, so I don't think that was entirely based on their weight, which is normally the major factor in sheep sales. But I then need to get the field at the top ploughed. Actually, it doesn't need to be ploughed. We can cultivate that. And, oh, actually, we do need to plough a bit of it. I do want to chop the trees down there and chisel out that island in the middle of the field. Probably get myself a small tipper and just chop the wood up into smaller bits. Didn't load the lumberjack mod, so we might need to rent a stump grinder so that we can get a clean thing of stuff, clean field to plough in. We'll have to plough that middle bit, but the rest of it is fine. Since I need to plough it, we're going to need to... where are we going here? It really doesn't matter whether I do this side or the other side. So I think I'm just going to run across here. We're always going to end up with a narrow bit somewhere. Cruise control turned off. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a good Thanksgiving, and those that celebrate it. And outface. So quite a big bit up here. And obviously the big area of discussion this week is Farming Simulator 22 came out. So I've had sufficient time to put in about 4 hours of play. It would appear that the Farm Manager mode is probably the best start, and if you read the mode start, says they consider it the default start mode. You get 1.5 million money, pounds, euros, dollars, which is more than you get or got in 19. With 19 you got £1 million of starting money plus 250,000 in a loan. You get no loan in 22. With that amount of money, I think you could do any of the more complex things with the big harvesters. So you could do cotton, you could do sugar cane, you could do sugar beets, you could do potatoes, and then you've got the new crops, the olives and the grapes. And I think you can afford to start with everything. Start a farm that is exclusively concentrating on those things if you want to. The issue is with most of those crops, you do need to be almost completely concentrated on them. If you've got a small field of cotton, it's just not worth your while. If you've got a small field of grapes, it's not worth your while. You need to go all in. But I think on Farm Manager you can afford to. Super D Gaming 1, good morning and welcome to the Thanksgiving Day stream. Now, start from scratch, you only start with 500,000 money like you did in 19, but 200 of that is a loan. So you're starting with interest payments. Again, you want to concentrate on your making money thing. Fortunately, the planting pattern, they start you in August, and they start you, seasons is on, it's August, and you're on 1 day seasons. So the first day is going to be August, and it's going to be all of August. If you change to a 3 day season or a 6 day season, September is when that switch occurs. It always switches at the end of the month you're playing. So you have to play through the current month in order to skip. So if you want to skip Christmas or winter and do 1 day seasons for winter, you have to switch on the last day, before the last day of fall. So I think November. Or you're looking at December will be the current setting you've got. We are not switching this series over until Precision Farming is available, which is slated for spring of 22. We're also going to be doing a map that I feel gives me some inspiration to play. So it's not going to be one of the three giants starting maps. That's the sort of starting conditions that I'm going for. I will probably start farm manager, and we will be building from the beginning. We won't be sort of, we've just transferred the farm over from Oakfield farm and we're using all the money. Not doing that. We are going for a pure start, where I can pick what equipment I start with. And that's typically what I used to do, even back in Farm Sim 17. I would sell all of the starting equipment I didn't want, and then buy the stuff I did. I'd usually say, you've given me 3 tractors. I'm going to sell all 3 of them and buy a nice tractor that I feel like playing today. Same with 19, same will be for 22. I will generally select my own starting equipment. Good morning, long hauler, and welcome to Thanksgiving Day stream. Happy Thanksgiving to you. So I have already entered 3 bug reports on 22. The first one, it's a cosmetic thing. The Case IH harvesters don't have license plates. Everything else that I've messed around with that is trailed, so things like balers, tippers, that sort of thing, do have license plates. All of the tractors and harvesters that I've looked at do have license plates, but the Case IH harvesters do not. So, reported that. The other thing I noticed, I've actually had weeds on my farm in 2 hours of play, and don't buy a weeder, just drive over it with your tractor. If you can afford it, then if you've got a tractor with doubles, fit the doubles and then drive over the field. It will kill the weeds, because weeds are susceptible to crop destruction, which I don't think is intended. And there were issues with 19 with weeds when we started out, I seem to recall. Something wasn't working right, and so they changed how the weeders worked, I think just before Christmas. So we've got that to look forward to, probably. The last one is a little bit more concerning. The rock picker, at least the big rock picker, I'm not sure about the smaller ones, doesn't turn itself off when it gets full. So, for example, if you're harvesting, then as soon as the harvester is full, it turns the harvester off. It doesn't stop the harvester, it doesn't drop the auger out, which is a mod I run in 19, but it does stop the harvester from harvesting. Rock pickers do not stop. So you can actually drive over the entire field with your rock picker full and pick up all the rocks. Which means obviously you then can't sell them, but if your goal is to I need these rocks gone, just keep driving when it fills up. Now I will say you can't turn on a rock picker when it's full. So if you turn the rock picker off, you can't turn it back on again. But if you don't turn it off, you can quite happily just keep going, erasing, I'd call it erasing rocks on the field. Now, this also means that the worker doesn't stop and say, this piece of equipment is unexpectedly full, or whatever the message was in 19. But so if your goal again is to sell rocks, a worker is not going to stop, because the machine doesn't turn itself off, so it doesn't trigger the hey, we've run out of space issue. Outside of that, I haven't found any serious issues. I know some people have graphical issues, like long hauler there. but at least as far as I'm concerned, with a PC, your graphics system and a lot of other things come into play, which obviously on a console isn't quite so significant, because all consoles, or all PlayStation 5s, for example, are built the same. So, but on the whole, enjoying the game. It's not much of a departure on what we do in 19, what we did in 17, except maybe the production chains are a big thing. And I think you're going to see that the crop prices appear to encouraging you to get into production chains and not just stick with the agricultural side. Getting into production chains, again, if you're starting from as a farm manager, you can afford it. It's it's just under 100,000 for most of the production facilities. Some are dead stop, so oil, if you produce canola grapes or sunflowers, you produce the oil, that's it, that's the end of the production chain. If you're doing grains, so wheat, oats, barley, that type of thing, I think corn as well, you can grind them into flour, but then you can use the flour on another stage. So potentially to fully benefit from that production chain, you need to buy more production facilities. And I don't know if your starter money is going to be sufficient to do that. I mean, it probably is if all you're doing is grains and, okay, we're going to plant wheat, we're going to do the grain thing, take it to the flour mill, make bread out of it. Yes, easy. And you need a tractor, you need a seeder, you need a harvester, and you need a black flatbed trailer to do all the carting with. Okay, you need to get out of the way, and that's really inconvenient. Where you put that bale. Come on, keep going, keep going. Thank you. What else is of note? I would note that this time around, we got very little in the way of sort of expansion, Farm Sim 19 expansion equipment. If you consider that Kuhn bale wrapper came with a whole bunch of stuff in Farm Sim 17, and almost all of that equipment made it into 19. I'm trying to think what else we got in 17 that was is the equivalent of that. But there are glaring sort of stuff missing. For example, the entire Grimmy potato harvest stuff, not in Farm Sim 22. And I was kind of hoping we would still have that. There we go. So if we go through the store, where is it? Potato Technologies. We've got one of those. What we don't have is... we got all of that. We don't have this stuff. 2 extra planters, which have 1.5 meter working width. Yay, whatever. These things which just shovel up potatoes from the ground and drop them on the ground, and then I think this thing, which then shovels up what's left on the ground. And it's a shame. I would like to have seen them. The Vicon Coverland stuff didn't transfer over. If we go to, I guess Vicon's probably the easiest. I think we got a tedder. We didn't get the mower. What's that one? Oh, that's the mower with the rower. We didn't get that. And I was kind of surprised with that. I think we got a windrower. We didn't get the fast baler. So there's no auto unload, or what's it? The baler with the pre-chamber. So it sort of starts collecting while it's still dropping off the old one, and then transfers what it started collecting into the main chamber. Not in Farm Sim 22, there isn't. And I'm surprised we didn't get those things. Because they're the sort of things we expect, you generally see when there's a new version of the game come out. Oops. There we go. I have to turn on the baler. So just a few sort of equipment surprises. The other big thing I've noticed, and starting up a new farm is quite a significant thing, especially with the changes in how the cultivators work. This creates stones. This increases your chance of weeds. I think the power harrow increases your chance of weeds. This counts as a plough, produces bigger stones, and appears to promote weeds as well. This creates bigger stones, and there's another spader, which effectively a plough, but it's half the speed, and also creates big stones. But because of the changes in the cultivators, you're looking at stones or increased weeds. So power harrows are going to create increased weeds. Now if we go to the seeders, we don't have anything like this. All of the basic seeders, so this one, gone. That one is gone, but there's a 6-meter one which needs 200 horsepower, so you need a bigger tractor for it, and then you still need the bucket on the front. But most of the seeders are like these. The Pottinger. This has a power harrow on the front that's going to promote weeds, and it's 3 meters wide. I can't remember if there's an Amazon one, which again 3 meters wide, looks a lot like the Converland one, so it's got a bigger tank than the one we just looked at, and again has a power harrow on the front. So I don't have anything that is not either built-in cultivator. I think that has this has a cultivator which basically digs into the dirt, but they're all bigger. You had to wait until this one came out as a mod before you had a 3-meter cultivating seeder. But there's no just straight seeders. There's nothing I can use as a straight seeder, and that's kind of a problem. I need over 100 horsepower for the seeders. That's 110. What's the other one we've got? Where'd it go? Oh, mods. We got the Pottinger, 165. This thing, 130. I think the what is it? It's because it's not a Converland. It's an Amazon. But I think again it needs a bigger engine because it has the power harrow on it. And sometimes all I want to do is just plant seeds. I don't want to be messing around with power harrows on my planters, and maybe I want to accept stones and a reduced a not increased weed chance, then I want to just plant with a seeder that is going to promote weeds because it's got a harrow in it. So we're not going to get any more clover from this, so I might as well just kick that bale out and turn it off. Unload the baler. And fold it up. We'll park at the edge of the field. So seriously looking for some mods to come out as far as all that's concerned. Because I know for the set for 19, there is a mod of the Amazon D3 in a pack, which also includes the D4, which is 4 meters wide, and is just a straight seeder. It does not include built-in harrow or built-in cultivator. In fact, from what I saw, the only seeder that we have that doesn't have a built-in harrow or cultivator is we still have this one, and that's just a straight sow it in the ground, but 100,000 to buy that. Good working with. Buttons. And of course I'm still mapping all of my buttons for 22 because that takes a while. You do something and then you come along and say, oh, I didn't map that button. What is it on the keyboard? Reach. But yeah, well, the mods are coming pretty fast. As expected, we did get a bunch of equipment mods on the first day, and that follows previous Farm Sim releases. The mods are Giants mods that are base game or original base game or expansion mods. So for Farm Sim 19, Big Bud was a week 1 mod. So was Estancia Lapacho. They only included 2 maps in the base game and then gave you Estancia Lapacho as a mod update in the first week. Yeah, and I just talked about that. The Vicon DLC is missing. The Grimmy potato harvest stuff is missing. I haven't really looked at the logging stuff because we got the Rotney DLC. I'm not sure whether they included that in 22 because, like I said, haven't looked at that. But yes, a lot of that, a lot of the usable stuff is missing, and they gave us, as I said, power harrows. They gave us one of these, and they gave us the Cultiplow, subsoiler, this one, and they gave us this, but they didn't give us this, that was the triple set that we got in the Kun DLC in FS17. They gave us one of these at 6 meters wide that needs 200 horsepower to hold it. And I wish I'd known that, because I'd have bought myself a 200 horsepower tractor when I started my my test playthrough. They've also deleted pretty much all of the case tractors. You get small tractors. Actually, a brand new. We didn't have a Case IH small tractor. We now have a Case IH small tractor. What we don't have is the Maxim and the Puma and the Quad Track. Not there. Puma straight pipe. Yeah, those are mods. The Optum, that's gone. The The Magnum, gone. And the Quadrac, gone. No Steiger either. So you want a case file.